loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. That's what I thought. A penny for your thoughts, a nickel for your kiss. Grab a dandelion and make a wish. She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. That's what I thought. Diamonds in the eyes, gold in the heart. Face like a Da Vinci, her body's a work of art. Got a nigga motivated. She puts me like a shopping cart. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unkept Secrets. I'm Kash. It's my beautiful girlfriend, Bry.
Hi.
Doing the sign language for all of y'all.
Oh, I was doing Vogue.
Oh, you Vogue. Come on, Vogue. Let somebody go with the flow. You gotta do that, the fall.
I can't right now. There's no space.
Maybe later. But
I could do it against the wall.
Speaking of Vogue, that goes right into the
Oh yeah, it does.
purpose of the,
It really
purpose of
does.
the video.
That was good.
So like that's called a transition.
Boom. But it wasn't planned.
It wasn't planned.
It was very unplanned.
That was straight off the hip, off the top of the dome.
Off the dome.
Pause. You know what I'm saying? So, this episode we're going to talk about sexual orientation.
No, we're not. We're going to inform y'all. This is an informative episode.
An informative episode about sexual orientation. The
and pronouns.
Pronouns.
We're just, all right.
Adjectives.
We're going to, no, it's the LGBTQ, and I think an I somewhere in there, terminology for 2023.
Yeah, so, sometimes, we might go on these dating apps. We go on a dating app as a couple app, we look for, boom, 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 what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So in the midst of that, we might be on Tinder.
Might be.
And I noticed on Tinder, there's a lot of, what do you call them, millennials on there. There's a lot of millennials
Very
on there.
millennial.
And,
very Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z. That's a generation, the new generation.
Gen Z, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think my generation was Gen X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're a baby boomer.
No, I'm not a baby boomer. A baby boomer.
You're definitely booming. You're a baby.
I think it could have been. I could have been relative to my generation too. We kind of like was baby boomers in a way, but different from the baby boomers at that time, But anyway, that's the story for another day. So today's episode is about
we're gonna inform y'all
the definitions and the different
terms
that
we got to keep up with today, because I feel like we got to keep up with pronouns of people, and we got to kind of be respectful in that sense. So we're gonna help y'all understand, and we're gonna figure it out, because
but at the end of the day, it's a lot. So when
a lot.
When I looked it up, it was 47. It was 47
Let's
different.
see.
And we're gonna go a little bit between, the different sexual preferences and the different gender labels.
Yes, we're gonna touch on it all.
So first, we're gonna start with the sexual preferences and the sexual labels and different categories and flim flam. Fizzle flazzle.
All right, so while we're doing this, we're going to test KB on his baby booming along the way. We're going to see if he can answer.
This is far from baby boomer. All
right, baby boomer. We're going to see if he knows the terms and what they mean.
Okay.
Since he's so smart. So, you want to start with sexual and gender identity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start with that.
The first one, what is agender?
Agender.
What is agender, babe?
That's a gender, but not a sexual preference.
Sexual and gender identities.
Okay, so
see, this is the category we're under, y'all. Just so you know, these are sexual and gender identities. So what is agender?
Agender is,
to you.
No, that don't matter what it is to me. It doesn't matter what
all right,
it is.
Fine. All right.
So agender is when you don't.
You can't see the answer.
You don't put yourself in any gender category. You just like kind of like a floater when it comes to the gender. You don't want to be labeled.
We needed my soundboard so I could have buzzed you right or wrong.
You don't want to be labeled as anything. You just, kind of like no label, going with the flow kind of like thing. All right.
Okay. All right, that is correct.
Okay. Yeah.
5 points for you, KB. Mm-hmm. So the proper term and definition, agender, describes a person who does not identify as a male or female, or some combination of male and female. Some agender individuals see themselves as genderless. All right, or gender neutral. That's another way to look at it. All right, asexual.
Asexual is when you
Asexual.
have no sexual attraction. You don't have no sexual attraction to any specific gender. You have no, like, your sexual, like, in asexual, there's a lot of different categories under asexual. But asexual itself is like not being really aroused by sex, or not having like a sexual attraction to specific people.
Are you asexual?
Nah, no, I don't. That's
No?
no. Asexual is like you look at somebody and be like, hey,
Yeah.
she's like bad.
You're not having
like,
a sexual desire for them, is what you're saying? You're just...
That's what asexual is.
Okay,
not
no,
having a
right?
sexual desire.
I have to confirm that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you asked me if I was asexual. I said no.
Oh.
Like,
All right, so the proper term is asexual, and it describes a person who is not sexually attracted to others and has no desire to engage in any sexual acts or behaviors.
but there's a lot of different sub-asexual categories. So it's where, I forget what the specific name is, but there's one that's like fall under asexual where, you know, you don't really have an initial sexual attraction to a person, but it's situational based.
Okay, sir, I'm the game show host. You cannot add subcategories.
There are.
We are still going through the category, so
okay.
how do you know we don't touch on that?
Okay,
Anyway, bigender.
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 Bigender is when you identify as more than one gender. You know, you can identify as
You did your research.
you can identify as a trans woman, but also as, you know, a queer woman or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
You are correct, sir. 5 more points. Bigender describes a person who has 2 genders. People who are bigender may experience 2 gender identities at the same time or at different times. These gender identities can be binary, male and female, or include non-binary identities.
So confusing.
I can be all 3 if I wanted to.
If you want, you can do whatever you want.
I know.
Do whatever you want.
Okay.
But you can't be a person that's enjoy bestiality. That's legal and like.
If you enjoy bestiality, I'm sorry, but you're not getting any time on this segment because we love animals here. I just want to put a special disclosure out
animals
there.
don't love the boom boom.
Let's
boom,
not
boom,
do
boom,
this
boom,
conversation
boom,
right
you know what
now.
I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Listen,
Kiss me for the
Dave,
animals,
do you know the argument we had when we talked about the donkeys?
I know, but I'm just saying.
Let's not go there.
You can't speak for the animals.
All right, let's get back to this game show. And KB, you are 3 for 3. This is one of my favorites. What is bisexual?
Bisexual is when you're sexually attracted to your specific gender and the opposite gender.
Oof.
We both. You
Very
know?
well worded.
But the question is, can a man be bisexual, or is it once a man dibble dabble into the other
Yes, he
realm,
can be
is
bisexual.
he automatically gay? Like, you know, like.
Yes, he can be bisexual.
I think for a man, once you go to the other side, bi kind of like is stripped from you.
Do you think they just automatically? All right, let's.
just gay.
Are we touching on our beliefs, or do we want to wait till
I
after?
don't throw that tidbit information up in there.
Okay, let's just keep
Up,
it
up.
moving there. Let's see if he's correct. Bisexual describes a person who is attracted to both men and women. A person does not need to have had sexual specific experiences or any sexual experience
just
to
attracted.
identify as bisexual.
Just
Boom.
be attracted to them, right? Just attraction is enough to be bisexual.
Yes, that answers your
But
question.
you have to act on it.
No, it doesn't say that.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to act on it.
Exactly.
Just be
See.
attracted to it.
All right, so now,
Wow.
next, cisgender.
Cisgender is what you were born as you know, at birth. So it's kind of like a weird thing with the cis thing. Like, does that make you heterosexual, or you just identify as what you were born as, and that's what you identify right now, or does it mean that you're straight and heterosexual? That's kind of like a little blurry line with that one. I'm not 100% sure. So, if you're watching this and you know the answer, leave it in the comments or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not 100% sure about that. You're cisgender, why? But if you're
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, so your time is up, sir. Cisgender describes a person whose gender identity matches the sex, male or female, originally identified on their birth certificate. Cisgender, which is pronounced cisgender, describes only a person's gender identity, not their sexual or romantic orientation or attraction.
So you just take away the I'm a male or female, but you got to put cis in front of it to reiterate the fact that I was born this way.
So I guess you're cisgender because your gender matches what you claim.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I am cisgender because female is what I claim, and that is the parts I was born with.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But the crazy part about it is it's almost like cisgender is almost like looked down and frowned upon, and
I didn't even know it got a word that we. I didn't know that we got a word like that. Like,
yeah, this
is new to me too, so we're learning along the way.
Yeah, so if you naturally, you can't just be like I'm a natural.
Yeah, I'm a natural.
I'm a natural.
I'm a natural.
I was born this way, like Lady Gaga. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like I'm cis, which is kind of like giving a label to the natural order of things. It's kind of like messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you think so?
Yeah, it's almost like.
Do you think
a judgment thing? Why can't I just be like, all right, I'm female? Why? Because, all right, this thing, saying that I'm a trans woman is not good enough. So in turn, you can say I'm a woman, but for me to identify as the person I was born as, I have to say I'm a cis man. Just so a transgender person doesn't have to say I'm a trans man. You get what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with it.
It's messed up. So, like, if a trans person wants to say, I'm a man, but they're really, a trans, it turns make me have to say, I'm a cis man to make you understand I was
you were born a man.
And why should I? Why?
You're adding an extra label just so people know that you're not a transgender identifying as a man?
Yes. So why does it have to why can't just trans just say, I'm a trans man?
Okay.
When they're the one who changed their gender. I didn't change my gender.
Right.
That's kind of like messed up.
Oops, sorry, I moved your camera.
That's kind of messed up right there,
Okay, so we're touching on your personal beliefs in this. Okay.
A little
bit. All right, so let's go to the next one for now. All right, I don't know what this means either. So NB,
non-binary.
BY.
NB is non-binary.
ENBY.
I think that's like I seen that when it comes to like a dating.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it is NB. Yeah, so it's just they spelled out NB.
NB is non-binary, right? But ENB.
BY.
BY. I think that relates to something like dating. Like
it describes a person who does not identify exclusively as male or exclusively as female. Yeah. And usually prefers they as a pronoun. So yeah, non-binary.
Non-binary, yeah, that's non-binary. So,
we know what gay means. I'm sure everybody does.
Everybody knows what gay means.
All right, we know what gender means. Okay, do gender affirming surgery. Gender dysphoria. Let's do that one.
Gender dysphoria.
What do you think gender dysphoria means?
Gender dysphoria is when you have the dilemma of your internal self of who or what gender you identify as. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when a naturally born, a cis male, we should say, a cis male has the feeling that he's a woman on the inside. And that dilemma within itself and that back and forth within that person, I believe, is what is gender dysphoria. Not feeling like you're the gender that you was born as.
Okay. So gender dysphoria, by definition, is the extreme discomfort that a person feels because they're assigned a sex at birth that does not match what they identify as.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, babe. What is your prize tonight?
I see where you're going with this.
Do you though? Do you though?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So anyway, whew, got hot. What is gender nonconforming?
When you just don't want to put labels on people, and you don't want to put a label on who you are, or what you are, or who anybody else is. And you just be like, yo, let everybody be and decide. You're just not conforming to the norms,
Societal norms,
yeah,
type of thing.
yeah.
All right, I wasn't helping with your intro. I was just trying to, explain.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Gender nonconforming describes a person who does not adhere to the traditional expectations in terms of their appearance or behavior, or of their assigned gender, pretty much.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Some of these individuals identify as transgender, but others, for example, masculine lesbians, do not. All right. Heterosexual. Heterosexual.
Tough, heterosexual, straight,
And are you hetero?
yeah, some heteros. Yeah, definitely heterosexual.
You identify as a heterosexual.
Yes, I identify as a heterosexual.
To male to be.
Cis male.
Okay.
Cis male.
Okay.
Cis heterosexual.
I was going to
male.
touch on that. Okay.
Not heteroflexible, which is another.
Are you flexible?
No, I'm not flexible when it comes to the hetero, But, yeah, heterosexual is a person who strictly sticks to the other side. I guess.
No.
According to.
Heterosexual is attracted
only to the opposite sex.
Okay, good job. Okay.
Yeah, so not like bi, which I just learned today. You don't have to act on. You don't have to act on.
See,
act on it to be bi. You just have to have a physical attraction. Like, yo, that's a cute ass nigga over there. And you look at a dude like, yo, that nigga cute.
You bi, you don't even know it. Y'all bi, you don't even
That's
know.
tough. You put that on somebody, man.
Yo,
like,
we not doing that.
That would be all women though. That would be all women. All
I
women.
know. I told you haven't I told you many a times that all women
But
are a little gay?
But what I'm saying is, under that definition,
Yes.
if all women they look at other women like, yo, she's cute or she's.
I told you all women are a little gay. We check out all women.
But that would make you bisexual, like through definition, like automatically.
Yes. I told you. Don't I always say that all women are a little gay?
I get it, but
that's why.
But just that's tough.
I know what it is, man.
You're bisexual because you think other girls are hot or cute.
Time is up, sir. Let's see. I'm just saying. So yes, heterosexual describes a person who's attracted physically and emotionally to individuals of. Wait, did I say? What was I saying? Hetero?
Same opposite sex.
Wait.
We're hetero, yeah. You're hetero.
I'm on hetero.
Yeah, hetero.
Okay, so that's physically attracted to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Straight. That means you're straight. Homosexual.
Yeah. Homosexual is obviously the latter, you know what I'm saying, when you are attracted to the opposite sex. And homosexual doesn't necessarily apply. Like, it's not something that you would call a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be like, say to a woman that you're homosexual, but it kind of like just applies towards men.
Homosexual.
The label. But I mean, obviously it goes both ways, but we would never label a woman like a homosexual. You would say other stuff like lesbian or something else like that, but kind of like it just kind of applies to men when you say homosexual, you know.
I don't think that's true.
It's not true.
Women can get.
We think about it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like
you, men.
You say that in general. I think in general, like nobody would say that lady right there is a homosexual. Like we don't even though it's true, like it is. She falls under that umbrella, but it's kind of like we don't really put that on women. We kind of attribute that to men generally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, pansexual.
A pansexual is a person that, or individual that doesn't really care what sexual orientation or gender or, what they don't really care what the person's born as or what the person identify as. They're just, if they like you, they like you. They don't care if you have a P or a P. You know what I'm talking about?
A P or a P? Mm-hmm. Like a PP?
A penis or a...
Nope. I meant beep censor. All right. So pansexuals an identity label that's sometimes claimed by people who experience sexual attraction across the spectrum, no matter what identity, sex, or orientation a person is.
Yeah.
They fall in love with the souls of people. They don't care about nothing else. They just want love.
They just want love.
They just want love,
and that's,
yo.
like, those are the kind of people that match up with the T's, the transsexuals, you know. The pansexuals, like, usually you don't see a transsexual with a transsexual, or you don't see like a transsexual with just a pure gay guy or gay woman.
Okay.
So I guess that's how, you know, they match up with the transsexuals, the T's, that's kind of like how it seems, you know. The pansexual.
Ooh, I got a good one. I don't think y'all know what this is. What's a transmasculine?
A transmasculine is a person that identifies more masculine than feminine. No matter what they identify as, they just identify with the more masculine side of themselves than anything else.
All right, let me clarify this, sir. Speak loudly into your mic. Reword that for us so that I can redo the definition and we can see if you are correct.
You could be a woman, but you identify more with your masculine side rather than your feminine side. I don't know. Go ahead. I get one wrong. Dang, I got them all right so far.
Transmasculine is a trans person whose gender expression is primarily masculine. Often includes transgender, or transsexual men. So a trans person whose gender expression is mostly masculine.
So that would be like a trans person that like a trans man, right? Which is a trans man can be more trans feminine. You could be a trans man, but you're more feminine. That makes you a trans feminine.
No. Listen. So if say you're a transgender, you go from female to male.
Yeah.
And you identify more masculine than anything, then you're transmasculine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if you're a trans,
if you're male to female trans, then you are because there's another there's trans feminine too. So that was gonna be the next one. So trans feminine would then be if you're going from a trans man to female, you're transitioning into the female, and you identify more feminine. You're trans feminine. Get it? Okay.
That's tough, but that has absolutely nothing to do with your orientation as you like women or nothing. It's just you're just a little bit more.
It's like your masculine and feminine role in what you like. What do you? Because you can be
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You can be a trans woman,
but identify as masculine.
But be more like
masculine,
but more like a stud.
Yeah, exactly.
So the trans masculine is a trans that's a stud basically. And a trans feminine is a trans person that's more as like the opposite of a stud. Like you're more feminine, the feminine version of.
I guess you can say it that way. You make it a little more complicated than I did.
Yeah, but it has to go both ways though. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be a trans. So if you're a trans man. And you could be soft and sensitive.
Then you're trans feminine.
Yeah, but then if you're a trans man and you're like rugged,
more masculine, then you're trans masculine.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so.
But that's crazy. But then you have to be also something else added on to that. So like you be a trans femme, but you like girls. So you'd be a trans femme / bisexual. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because you like girls also.
I don't really know how the sexuality would then be
added on to that.
Based, and I'm not going to assume.
I guess but it has to be how it would be, because say you're a trans woman, would be a stud, which would make you trans masculine.
Right.
But you also like men.
Right.
So that would kind of make you a trans
No,
masculine.
Let's not add the.
You have to be a trans masculine, but also heterosexual in a way, right? If you was a trans stud, say if you're a trans stud.
All right, so wait.
That
So
make
no,
you
you need
trans-masculine.
to break it down. So you're you're saying they're trans masculine. Are they female to male, male to female? That's the detail.
You're a transsexual woman.
So
woman.
Male to female,
female.
transgender.
Yes.
Okay.
But you are masculine.
You identify as masculine.
So what makes you a trans masculine, right?
You would be
Trans masculine.
trans masculine that is
Like
lesbian.
men. Exactly.
Yeah, a trans masculine that identifies as a lesbian.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't just be trans masculine or trans femme because there had to be another add-on
No,
to
there
that.
doesn't. You can have a more masculine personality, but still like the opposite.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It has to be some added on to that because your sexuality has to be added on to that. Because trans masculine is just how you identify as like your persona.
Yeah.
Basically, you know
That's
what I'm
just
saying?
your
persona, like how
your gender role, like in the masculine or feminine, just
But
type
that
the feminine.
But that has nothing
feminine.
to do with your sexuality.
No.
Exactly. So sexuality has to be added on to that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It doesn't have to. Some people
It
don't
has
want
to
to
be.
disclose that, but that's
But
another.
sexuality is the most important thing out of all. Like, your gender is what you identify as, and that's okay. But your actual sexuality or your sexual preference is what's most important because.
Ooh, I got a good one for you. I don't think you're gonna know what this is. What does the acronym TERF stand for?
TERF?
TERF.
I have
TERF.
no idea.
Want to know? The acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist, referring to feminists who are transphobic.
So that's a derogatory term
It is.
to basically women.
Referring to feminists who are transphobic.
Wow.
Trans exclusionary.
But a feminist should be transphobic because a feminist is fighting for female rights, and if a feminist doesn't believe that a trans person is a real as a woman and don't deserve those. A feminist is gonna look at a trans person still as a man because that's like a feminist is all about women's rights,
Women's safety, women's empowerment.
rights, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So
We're not a
that's-
fan. I'm not a fan of the feminist. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Feminist. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well,
I'm
let's
not.
rephrase that. Like, you're not a fan of extreme feminism.
No, I'm not a fan of extreme feminism. I believe in obviously
Yes.
women's rights and equality. 100%.
But extreme feminism.
I do
something
not.
else.
Yeah, no. This whole extreme feminism thing that's been taking over is just all right. Don't speak for me, guys. Do not say that I want to be working and doing all this extra stuff equivalent to men because I don't. I am not a man. I don't want to be a man. I would love to have a woman's role.
You don't want to ride in the back of a garbage truck at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I won't, and I wish somebody would ask me to
You don't want
because
to drive a cement truck and brick lay?
no, I can't even go down a ladder.
For 14 hours, 14 hours of the day, you don't want to do that. You want to get up. You don't want to get up at the crack of dawn before the sun comes up, just to go to
I don't. And I don't want to have to be the independent, I don't want to have to provide for a whole family. I do not. I've done it, right? I've done it.
Sometimes, but a lot of women do. A lot of women have to do it. They got no choice.
Exactly.
You know?
But, these extreme feminists are bringing it to a point where, they think all women don't want to be traditional women.
Traditional women,
Don't
yeah.
speak for us. Just,
Exactly.
don't
Fight for
don't
your
make,
rights. Fight
I
for
wanted to have children and be home and sit my ass down, and I wanted to cook all day and clean all day. That is rewarding to me. I condone and I
making it is different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Making it for one person is different from the other person making it.
I've made it in every way I need to.
Yeah, so.
Business wise, success wise, my venture wise, traveling wise. I can do it and have done it. But to me, the hardest and most rewarding fulfilling thing has been being your wife and figuring out how to raise our kids, because it's something that I can never figure out.
She loves me, she loves me not. She loves me, that's what I thought. A penny for your thoughts, a nickel for your kiss. Grab a dandelion and make a wish. She loves me, she loves me not. She loves me, that's what I thought.